So this video is going to be on draining and replacing the fluid in the transmission. I won't be changing it all out. From what I gather from the dealership, who suggested highly that I do not do this, and that it is a lifetime sealed transmission, which I don't believe. I looked up one of the transmissions and they're $11,000 American to replace without the labor. That's a third of the vehicle price. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend changing the fluid either. But nonetheless, a lot of the car people that I trust and follow on YouTube recommend a drain and fill. This car has 88,000 kilometers on it now, and ironically the dealer recommends changing it from 50 to 80,000 miles, so that's 80 to 130,000 kilometers. I'm going to try to do this every 80,000. Like I said, I'm 8,000 kilometers late, but it's time I did some maintenance on this car, so I thought I'd tackle this. I've already put it up on jack stands. Took all four wheels off because I'm rotating the wheels as well as doing the sliders on the brake calipers, and I'm also in a different video going to be replacing the brake fluid in the car. I've heard that you really don't need to do that on Toyotas, that they seal them pretty good and there's no way for air and moisture to get in, but seemed like a pretty easy job, so why not? I'll give her a shot. But this particular video is going to be on the transmission, drain and fill. And what you need to do is, I put it up level on all on 4 jack stands, but I've seen people just lift the one side up and do it. You're just draining fluid, so you probably would get more out doing it this way. I'm not sure how the drain, where the drain is. The fill is in the middle of the screen. It is a 24 millimeter socket, and you need to take off this splash guard and the whole underpan. You just have to take out 3 screws to do an oil change on these cars, but to get to the transmission bolt, I'm guessing you need to take out the whole underpan. Which is the hole underneath. And they're all with these little clips here. Me personally, I hate clips. I wish they were all little bolts, but they're not. So I'm going to pause this because I'm pretty sure you don't want to see me take out these clips. But I have I already took out 3 of them on the thing. all I did was I got a little tiny pry bar, stick it in, pull the center out, and then pull the outside off. So I am going to crawl under here. That is one thing I hate doing, even with 4 jack stands. I hate crawling under vehicles. I'm a little bit claustrophobic in my getting up in age. When I was younger, no problem. Heights didn't bother me at all, but I don't know, getting up in age, I don't like heights that well, and I don't like crawling under cars. So I'll pause this, and I'll show you all the ones you need to remove. There's that one, two more along there, a couple in here, a couple out back, and hopefully that's it. And I will resume when I find the drain pan or drain plug. Okay, I'm just recording this so I know where all the pieces go. Okay, so I got the bottom tray, I don't know what to call it, bottom splash liner out, and the side skirt out, and I didn't completely take the bottom liner out of the front there. I took a few bolts out and left a few in. Way back in the corner, there's some junk on the bottom of it. I will take that out of there. It looks like rocks and stuff. But so there it is. What I'm going to do is the car hasn't run in 24 hours or 16 hours. The fluid has been outside in a box, so they are the same temperature. There's I'm going to double check in a minute, but there is no leaks in the transmission. So the amount of fluid that I take out, I'm going to measure it, and I'm just going to put that amount of fluid back in. The dealership says you have to have all kinds of a computer, and you have to heat it up and measure the temperature, and once you take out the drain bolt, there's a little tube, like an overflow tube, that measures the fluid inside too. It's supposed to be to the top of that little tube. But the way I see it is, if there's no leaks and they filled it properly at the factory, which I'm assuming they did, because it's worked 88,000 kilometers, what I take out, I put in. It's the same fluid, same temperature, so there shouldn't be a problem. And that's what all the other mechanics say. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drain it and put it in a clear container that has measurements on it. And once I determine how much I took out, I will pump that much back in to the fill hole right there. But before I take the fluid out, I'm going to crack the fill hole open just to make sure that I can get it open. It would really be bad if I drain the fluid out and can't get the fluid back in. So I am not going to film the fluid pouring out, but I will film me taking this bolt off, and I'll show you where the drain plug is. Give me a minute. So you are most definitely going to need a breaker bar for this. Once you break it, you can do it by hand. Don't lose that gasket. Everybody I've talked to says just reuse it. It's you don't need to replace the gasket if it's in good shape, which this one is. So there we go. We got the fill hole undone. So I will show you the location of the drain, but I won't bother you with showing you it coming out. The drain is towards the back, and it's a hex. That's looking front on the left to back on the right. And the drain is in the middle of the flat part there. Right here. So I will pause this because I need both hands to catch this, and I'll get back to the filling up procedure. See how much fluid we got. Looks like I don't have the right I have a 10mm hex wrench, but I can't get enough torque on it to loosen the drain bolt. So I have a buddy of mine's gonna bring me a 10mm hex socket so I can put a breaker bar on it. And you also need a 8mm hex wrench or a 6mm, I can't remember what it is, to undo the plastic straw inside the transmission, to get that out of there and get a lot more fluid. Because when you take the drain plug off, all you're doing is draining the fluid inside the straw, which isn't much at all. So I'm going to make this a two-part because I can't leave. I'm no good at editing videos. I haven't looked into it or anything because I'm too busy of a person. So if you like these videos, you're getting them raw. I don't have time to edit them. So I'm going to make this a two-parter and move on to the brake fluid while I'm waiting for him to come down. He's getting ready to go camping, and he's going to bring it to me when they leave, so it might be a while. So I'm going to make this two parts and move on to the brake video. See you in part 2.